You've been lied to about self-esteem. Not in an obvious way, but in a way that sounds genuinely helpful. Love yourself, do more self-care, repeat positive affirmations. In this video, I want to explain why that advice doesn't actually build self-esteem and what to do instead if you've been stuck for a while. All right, misconception number one. Low self-esteem is the problem. There's this really common idea that having low self-esteem is the thing that's holding you back. Like once you get rid of it, you'll be able to take the risk, do the hard thing, change your situation. But in my experience and what I've seen in other people as well, is it's actually often the other way around. You take the risk, you do the hard thing, you change your situation, then your self-esteem changes. Because most of the time, low self-esteem comes from avoided discomfort, right? Like your self-esteem isn't low because you risked going to a party when you have social anxiety, right? Like your self-esteem is low because you didn't go to the party in the first place. And if you did, then you didn't really chat to anyone there. This is all avoiding discomfort. The things you know that you probably should do, but you keep putting off. The very thing about avoidance is that it starts slowly shrinking your world. And when your world gets smaller, it's really hard to feel good inside of it. Let me give you a personal example. When I was 21 and I was living with my parents, I felt incredibly low. Like my self-esteem was on the floor. I barely left the house because of social anxiety and like a health issue that I was dealing with. Even things like walking around a supermarket, I generally had to give myself a pep talk in the car before doing it. And I remember one day, like something just switched. I had a hybrid job in London and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just take the leap and just move to London. New environment, new start, like move into a flat share with people that I don't know. And at the time, like that sounded insane. I already felt incredibly low. Like why would I add more discomfort to that? Like that was a huge risk. But what I realized, and I couldn't fully articulate this at the time, every time I had tried to feel safer in the past, my life had got smaller. Not seeing friends, not going out in the evening, not starting that project because I was scared of failing. And every time my life got smaller, my self-esteem dropped even lower. Now, if we go back to what was the initial misconception at the start, that low self-esteem is the problem, like it wasn't the problem. Low self-esteem wasn't telling me that I needed to hide more. It was telling me that something needed to change. And I think this is the part that gets missed out a lot. If you suffer with low self-esteem, you're often not unaware of why you feel bad. In fact, most people I've met with low self-esteem are very much aware of why they feel like that. Maybe, like including myself, like maybe too self-aware. They know what they're avoiding. They know why they feel left behind. They know what isn't really working. Like in a way, having low self-esteem is just kind of being honest with yourself. Don't treat low self-esteem as the problem, okay? Treat it as the fuel for change. Misconception number two, feeling bad means there's something wrong with you. This is a message that we hear like all of the time. Like if you feel frustrated or you feel restless or you feel dissatisfied, like these are all things that you just need to change in your mindset. Like just think happier thoughts, right? Or just love yourself more, guys. Come on, like fixed. But that's just not true. Most meaningful change doesn't come from feeling comfortable or happy. It kind of comes from feeling fed up. Like from hitting some kind of like internal wall, from realizing I can't keep doing this. Like why would you change your life if everything felt fine? Toxic positivity tends to sort of rename these emotions as something that you shouldn't feel. Something to just get rid of rather than actually listen to. Like I feel that's such a mistake because frustration can be like incredibly motivating. The feeling of like this isn't working anymore can be the thing that pushes you forward. Like it creates movement. And I think this shows up in a lot of like conversations around mental health as well. Like medication, for example, right? Like antidepressants absolutely help a lot of people. And for some people, it's generally like life-changing. But there's also a version of feeling low that isn't just to do with brain chemicals, right? Like it's your life giving you feedback. And if you numb that feeling without ever acknowledging what it's pointing to, then nothing actually changes. Like if I hadn't have felt depressed when I was living at home, like I wouldn't have moved to London. I wouldn't have met my girlfriend. I wouldn't have proved to myself that I could actually handle more than I thought. And I know this might sound strange, but looking back, I generally feel thankful for feeling that low because it forced change. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, feeling bad doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that something might need to change. And discomfort is not the enemy of that. Sometimes it's the thing that pushes you forward. Right, misconception number three. Self-esteem comes from thinking differently. Look at all the self-help books. They all promise largely the same thing. If you just read one more book or just listen to one more bit of advice, then your whole mindset will change. And as a result, your self-esteem will change. I hate to break it to you, but your brain doesn't actually change because you've told it to think differently. It changes based on evidence. More specifically, what you repeatedly do. If you constantly avoid things, your brain will conclude that you are someone who constantly avoids things. If you constantly follow through with things, even if you make mistakes or you feel so scared doing it, your brain will conclude that you are someone who follows through with things. It's updated the story, you're no longer someone who avoids stuff. And psychology backs this up pretty clearly. We often get a sense of who we are through our own behavior. So instead of asking, how do I feel about myself? The better question to ask is, what am I showing myself every day? So a great example of this is someone that, let's say, doesn't do any exercise versus someone who does. The person not doing any exercise might genuinely hate exercise, right? But like, they're just showing to themselves every day that, yeah, maybe like when they don't like doing something, they won't do it. Maybe they're a little bit lazy, they're not very disciplined. Whereas the person that's doing exercise might generally also hate exercise, but they do it because they want to show up for themselves every day. They're proving to themselves that they can motivate themselves every day, and if they can't, then they're still disciplined enough to do the thing. Your brain believes what you do, not what you tell it. So what actions are you taking today that puts a vote in the box for you? Right, so those are the three misconceptions. But if modern self-esteem advice then therefore like it doesn't work, then what does? I think it mainly comes down to three things. First, self-trust over self-love. You don't need to love yourself, you need to trust yourself. Self-love it's a little bit of like a wishy-washy term. Sounds a little bit narcissistic if you ask me. The better way to think about it is building self-trust. And self-trust is built in a way that is incredibly unglamorous, right? Like if you don't feel motivated to do the thing, you do it anyway, even when motivation disappears. Like you might make fewer promises to yourself or like smaller commitments, but at least you actually do the thing. Like if your self-esteem is telling you that you could never possibly make friends, test it, try it out. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain quietly logs it as evidence, and over time, the relationship with yourself changes. So aim to trust yourself more. The second way to raise self-esteem is to bring back standards without being cruel to yourself. A lot of people with low self-esteem seem to live at two extremes, right? Like you have the people with low self-esteem that have no standards and therefore suffer with motivation. Or you have the people at the other end which have way too impossibly high standards that they suffer with paralysis. In both of those, the answer is kind of in the middle. Like have clear expectations, but be compassionate. Like if you're worried about doing a project at work, but you took it on and you screwed it up, like that's okay, you still did it. That's still better than the version of you yesterday where you just like couldn't be bothered or you just didn't want to do it because you were worried about failing. Like in a non-cringy way, it's generally the effort that counts here. And the final thing here, guys, is learn to tolerate discomfort without overanalyzing it. Us overthinkers tend to just like narrate discomfort so much. If you have anxiety, that means something's wrong with you. Or like, oh, well, that was really difficult, so that means it's just like not for me. But most growth feels uncomfortable at first. I'll give you a really quick example. Like a couple of nights ago, I invited some friends round for a boards game night, right? And like in the first half an hour, like it honestly seemed kind of cringy. Like it was awkward. Like we were just making small talk about the weather. I was like, oh my God, like if Jack had hosted this board games night, like everyone would be laughing straight away. And like, they're probably going, oh my God, why did I even come to this board game night? But then after an hour, like I get into the flow. Like people are then playing the games, we're laughing about it. Like we're laughing about someone who's written like a stupid answer for the game. Now I could have beaten myself up about like the first half an hour and thought, oh, I was really anxious, like it was really difficult, so I shouldn't do these things again. But no, like once I got through that initial discomfort, like I'm really glad I did it. There's this misconception, if I can add another one, that people with like high self-esteem or like confident people are like super calm in every situation, right? But no, like confidence is something that like you feel that the task is difficult and yet you still do it. That is confidence. And if you don't seek that discomfort, then nothing will change. And if you don't seek that discomfort, then your reality won't change. All right, so if there's one thing I would leave you with, then it's this. Self-esteem isn't built by trying to make yourself feel better about yourself. It's built by slowly becoming someone that you respect. And that usually starts before you feel ready. If you're watching this video and you feel really low right now, it's not because you're broken. It probably means that you're closer to change than you think. So over the next year, I've promised myself that I'm going to release one video a week on this YouTube channel, even if I think it looks really bad, which some of them probably will. They'll probably be quite cringy. However much I don't want to upload it, or I just want to like, just not do YouTube for a bit, like I'm going to do it. So if you want to join me on that journey and help support, then please do subscribe. It helps push this video out to other people who might be helped by it. Thank you for watching. Peace.